Hello. The objective for this lesson will be to work with slope-intercept form. Can we determine the equation of a line given a slope and a y-intercept? And then can we figure out what the x and y-intercepts are for a given equation? We'll start with a little bit of review. We want to graph two equations. Y equals 2x plus 1, here highlighted in blue, and here in this salmon color, y equals 3/4 x plus 3. Reminding ourselves on how to graph these lines, the visual representation is useful. Y equals 2x plus 1. You can start by thinking about some x and y values to choose. Here, maybe we'll choose these 5 points. I like these because they're small, they're easy to work with. You can think about 2 times -2 plus 1. That gives us a value of -3. Okay, what I'm drawing on the right-hand side here is an xy table. This makes it easy for us to graph our points. And also, it provides a nice way for us to check our work if we ever do make a mistake. Okay, -2 times 1 is -2 plus 1 gives us -1. 2 times 0 is nothing, plus 1 gives us 1. 2 times 1 plus 1 gives us 3. And then 2 times 3 plus 1 gives us 7. Once we've organized this xy table, and this pattern over here should look familiar, it's sometimes I give you homework problems, and this is how you would calculate it. Okay, so in blue, we think about this first point I want to graph. I'll keep with the highlighter, this blue color. Okay, this point that I want to graph. You look at -2 and then 3. There it is. Then you think about where this next point will be. -1 and -1 looks like this. Oops, I made a mistake. Okay, went the wrong direction. -2, and then I go down to -3. Okay, those are 2 points on my line. For 0, I go up to 1. Okay, that's this point. 1 and 3, that's this point. 2 and 7, I guess that would be like all the way up here. 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait a second. Seems like I made a mistake there. You see it? It's way too high up. So my error, let's fix it in red. Okay, this one should be a 2, which gives this value of 5. 2 and 5. So connecting these points, we get a line. Try my best to connect it in as straight a line as possible, something like this. I've graphed the equation in blue, y equals 2x plus 1. We can do the same with the salmon-colored problem. This time around, I'm going to be lazy and just choose 2 points, okay? 0 is always a great number to choose for the x value. Anything times 0 is 0, so that fraction goes away. We know the corresponding y value here is 3. And then another nice number to choose is 3. Okay, why does that match up? 3 times 4/3 gives us 4. Okay, have the multiplier match its denominator, and you see that value matches up with 6. Okay, you only need 2 points to draw a line, and I've already found that here. So here's 0 and 3. I'm using the same axes. There's 1 point on my line. 3 and +6 is up here. Okay, and I'll connect it together best I can, looking like that. Close enough. Okay, and I've graphed this second equation. In pink is this y equals 4/3 x plus 3. Okay, and that comes to this next part. Okay, notice in bold here what I've written. Y equals mx plus b. Okay, so this is one of the more useful forms of a equation of a line. M here is your slope. B is this new idea of a y-intercept. That is where lines cross the y-axis. Y-axis goes up and down, okay? So B here, notice that this 3, okay, is where this pink line crosses the y-axis. This 1 here is where the line crosses the y-axis here, okay? You see the y-intercepts here and here, and you can go one step more and I can show you the slope. So let's say from here, if I go up 3, 2, 3, 4, go over 3, I messed up. chose a bad point. I wanted to show you the slope triangle. Let's see. Yeah, here to here. Will it work? Did I make a mistake? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'm feeling I made a mistake. My slope triangle isn't showing me the correct point. Ah, you're right, I did. Sorry about that. This should actually be a 7. So my line should be up here like that. Something was off. Okay, there we go. That's a little better. Imagine that's straight. Okay, so then you see your 4/3, you see your slope. Maybe in blue, I'm pretty sure I got this one correct. You want to see your slope of 2, so we go up 2 over 1. Okay, there's your slope of 2. Y equals mx plus b is nice to graph for that reason. In section 10.4, you'll see examples. It's pretty nice when given this form to graph it. This is the second equation we've learned for the equation of a line. So, a couple of problems here. We're just reading y equals mx plus b. Let's say, like this blue, okay. So here, our slope, using this equation, reading it, we see our slope is 2, and then our y-intercept has a value of 7. This next example, our slope here is -1. Our b value, also known as our y-intercept, is 5. In this last example, 1c, our slope is 1/3. Our y-intercept has a value of 6. Okay, it's easy when it's given in y equals mx plus b. It's nice when it's already in slope-intercept form. But you notice in this example, it's in standard form. It's not quite y equals mx plus b. Okay, y is not by itself, x is on the wrong side, 12 we can deal with. So we have to use some algebra to move things around. First step, let's move 3x. Let's move that over. Okay, that made 0. We're left with now 4y equals -3x plus 12. Divide both sides by 4. Okay, divided by 4, divided by 4, divided by 4. So y then equals -3/4 x plus 4 divided by 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. So now from this algebra, we have slope-intercept form. We can see y equals mx plus b. You see that your slope is -3/4. Your y-intercept is 3. Okay, let's do that again. Let's move the x term over, adding 2x to both sides. That made 0. 6y equals 2x plus 9. Divide both sides by 6. That means every single term by 6. Y equals 1/3, because that's 2/6 simplified, plus, we can simplify this too. We can go 3/2. So, following y equals mx plus b, m equals 1/3, b, our y-intercept is 3/2. Okay, 2c, another example. We're given not quite standard form, just some weird form of equation. Almost looks like y equals mx plus b. We'll move the x term to the proper side, and I think we're done. Almost. negative 2x and then plus 6. Okay, now that looks like y equals mx plus b. So our slope here is negative 1/2. Our y-intercept is 6. All right. Now, the last type of problems I think you're given, okay, is in standard form, can you figure out the x and y intercepts? And in this case, it is kind of nice. Previously, we didn't like standard form that much because there was a lot of algebra to get there without much use. Well, here's it's like one good use. It makes x and y intercepts easy to find. So for the x-intercept, set y equals 0. So our equation then becomes 2 times x plus 3 times 0 equals 5. Okay, we're left with this simple equation. You solve that your x-intercept is made 1. X-intercept has to equal 5/2. So specifically, the coordinates look like this, okay? Then, that's for the x-intercept. For the y-intercept, we need to set x equal to 0. So that's 2 times 0 plus 3y equals 5. 3y equals 5. Solve this small equation. You get that your y-intercept is 5/3. And that point looks like this, okay? If you ever forget which value to set to 0, draw yourself a little picture, okay? Draw a line somewhere. You think about, okay, what's this point, okay? Is that an x or a y-intercept? Change the color, okay, in red. So that point right there, okay, has some x value, but notice y is 0. And specifically, this red point crossed the x-axis, so it's an x-intercept. Compare that to like this one, okay? This point, that would be something for the y-coordinate, 0 for the x-coordinate. It crosses the y-axis, so in orange, this is the x-intercept. This gives you a little hint on which value to set to 0. Okay, I guess like one easy mistake is like for the y-intercept, set y equal to 0 because y's match up. That is not the case. Draw out this picture, kind of set the opposite values. Think about what it means to be in an intercept. Do a couple more for practice. Let's go back to this blue. Okay, so set y equals 0 for solving the x-intercept. 4 times x minus 2 times 0 equals 7. 4x equals 7. So our x-intercept here is 7/4. Set x equals 0 for the y-intercept. We have 4 times 0 minus 2 times, 2y equals 7. Negative 2y equals 7. Y-intercept is therefore negative 7/2. Okay. 3C and 3D I leave for you to do. So let me give you the answer so you can check over your work. 3C is negative 4/3, and your other intercept is positive 2. For 3D, you have negative 3/2 and 3/4 as your intercepts. I leave you to do and solve it on your own. Okay, that's all for today.